out or he's pulling or anything like that, you bring him up, look at me. Yes, and over time, you can just say, look at me, and he should be looking back at you, okay?
It's a lot of information to take in. But both Tanya and Odie are fast learners.
Good boy.
Very good.
Yes,
good boy.
much closer to our goal. Starts pulling, stop.
Odie.
Look at me. Look at me.
Good boy.
Oh, that's really good. That's nice. That's nice. That's much better, Odie.
Time for the big test.
Everyone ready to play now? You go say hi. Oh, so now you can play. Odie? Yes, good boy, sit. That's not real manners. You've got the control with the treats at least to bring that back in. That's it. I want nice play. That's it. Nice fair play. Good boy.
And with a gentle reminder.
Here we go. Yeah, that's better.
And some positive reinforcement.
It's making the right decisions. That's it. Much better. Good boy.
Odie is on his way to an A+.
Much better.
Hi, I'm Jeff Corwin, and we are traveling across Wild America on my brand new television series, Wildlife Nation, part of Weekend Adventure.
Storm Wrangler 12, only on Newswatch 12.
To find out how to get a free upgrade to the RotoRazor 3000 series, absolutely free.
Uh-oh, can't find the right saw for the job? You need a hand saw for this, a circular saw for that, a band saw, a miter saw, and a jigsaw? And with all the different blades, that job's turned into an expensive jigsaw puzzle. Not anymore. Hi everybody, I'm Joe Fowler, and this is the RotoRazor. Over 3,000 screaming RPMs of workshop muscle to make any do-it-yourself project so fast and easy, you'll actually enjoy doing it yourself. Can your saw do that? Imagine using the same saw to cut hardwood, plywood, laminated flooring, drywall, sheet metal, ceramic tile, grout, masonry, marble, travertine, pegboard, PVC and plastic, even metal and steel. Or how about a saw that cuts carpet without a snag, like sharp scissors on paper? RotoRazor cuts horizontally or vertically. It cuts a straight line, along a curved line, or plunge.
NBA, Memphis Grizzlies star point guard Ja Morant now under investigation, out for at least 2 games after allegedly posting this video appearing to display a gun. Tonight, how Morant is responding. The race to 2024 heats up. Former President Trump taking center stage at CPAC, making his case for the nomination. Why big names like former Vice President Mike Pence and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis are skipping the event. And our exclusive interview with the first Democratic challenger to President Joe Biden. Dramatic new video coming in, the deadly tanker explosion in Maryland, just outside Washington, raging flames damaging homes. The wild police chase in California, a driver in a stolen car opening fire at police, how it all came to an end. Remembering actor Tom Sizemore, known for his roles in iconic Hollywood films. And America Strong, the milestone moment captured on video, inspiring others around the world.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this busy Saturday. I'm Whit Johnson. We're following several developing stories as we come on, including the investigation now underway into a passenger killed during severe turbulence on a private plane. But we begin with that deadly winter storm. At least a dozen people killed across the country and more than 1 million customers without power tonight. heavy snow, hurricane-force winds, and a tornado outbreak, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Strong winds snapping power lines in Kentucky, one of the hardest hit states. Debris flying into streets, roofs ripped off of homes and businesses. 70-mile-per-hour gusts sending this White Castle sign crashing onto a car in Bowling Green. In Louisiana, this video captured a twister ripping through Shreveport. At least 17 tornadoes reported across the South. And snow causing spinouts and crashes in Coldwater, Michigan. In the West, that epic snowstorm stranding people for more than a week in the mountains of Southern California. Residents desperate, writing "Help us" in the snow. And tonight, the impact on travel. Hundreds of flights canceled. ABC's senior meteorologist Rob Marciano leading us off tonight.
Tonight, the death toll rising in that powerful winter storm that slammed at least 37 states across the country, unleashing heavy snow, damaging winds, and destructive tornadoes. At least 12 people killed in 5 states. More than 1 million residents remain without power tonight. In Michigan, Stacy Wittenberg forced to throw away her food.
We do not have a generator, and I just got a full fridge of groceries and a freezer of groceries because we were out for 4 days and I had to throw out all that food.
Kentucky, one of the hardest hit states. The governor there is saying he could feel the walls moving in the hurricane-force wind gusts, easily snapping power lines and cutting power to hundreds of thousands of customers.
When it comes to power, this is going to be a multi-day event.
This dramatic video from Bowling Green capturing the moment heavy winds topple a White Castle sign, bending it in half as it crashes down on a car. Strong swirling wind gusts making it difficult for firefighters to put out the flames at this car dealership. At least 17 tornadoes reported across the South. In Louisiana, this video capturing a tornado forming as it spins across Shreveport. And in the West tonight, residents still stranded in the San Bernardino Mountains. Some writing, "Help us" in the snow. ABC's DeMarco Morgan is there.
Now, this is pretty much the story, not just here in Crestline, but other neighboring mountain communities. People trying to dig their way out with the help of neighbors, even strangers pitching in to help.
Sarah and Jason Brooks tell us they walked an hour and 20 minutes from their home just to get food.
The snow is so high that you can get on the banks, and I can lift my pole up and actually touch the power line.
Officials acknowledging they were unprepared. A National Guard unit called in to help families running out of supplies. Crestline, California, buried under more than 8 feet of snow.
And they've been digging out for days. Let's get right to Rob Marciano joining us now. And Rob, that major new storm system already having an impact in the West tonight.
Yeah, Southern California, we got a break today, but Northern California, you've been getting it all day long. The radar shows just that. The Pacific Northwest as well, from Seattle to Portland, all the way down to San Francisco. Heavy rain, that heavy snow now in the Sierras. We'll get another batch of rain and snow, and this will come with 50-plus mile-per-hour winds during the day tomorrow. 2 to 5 feet of additional snowfall on top of what they've already had. Southern Sierra, 2 times what they typically have. Bad for the people. You saw the pictures, but it is good for the drought. All right, a piece of this energy gets into the plains. We're looking for snow in parts of Minneapolis and raining for Chicago for Monday morning. This does get to the East Coast, but it will weaken somewhat. Meanwhile, the activity in the West will continue next week. Whit?
And we'll be tracking it over the coming days. Rob, our thanks to you tonight. Now to that rare and deadly case of severe turbulence. An investigation now underway after a passenger aboard a private business jet was killed. That small plane heading to Virginia from New Hampshire when it had to be diverted to Connecticut. It's just the latest in a string of mid-air scares. Earlier this week, 7 people were hurt and rushed to the hospital after a Lufthansa Airbus experienced turbulence. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
Tonight, the NTSB investigating a rare incident of fatal turbulence. A passenger on a private business jet killed.
This is a tower with a medical emergency. Landing runway 6. Possible laceration, requesting medical assistance on the runway.
The Bombardier Challenger 300 jet departing from Keene, New Hampshire Friday afternoon with 3 passengers and 2 crew members on board en route to Leesburg, Virginia. Around 4 p.m. local time, diverting to Bradley Airport in Connecticut for a medical emergency after experiencing severe turbulence.
Severe turbulence is when things are being thrown about the cabin. That's when people get hurt, when they get bounced around the cabin, land, and either get lacerations, broken bones, and in worst case, death.
The NTSB now interviewing those who survived and analyzing the jet's cockpit recorders to figure out how this happened.
Turbulence can be uncomfortable, it can be scary, but really the only time turbulence is dangerous is if you're sitting in the cabin of an airplane without a seatbelt on.
The tragedy comes just days after this Lufthansa flight from Austin, Texas to Frankfurt, Germany experienced violent turbulence in the middle of meal service. Food and silverware scattered across the cabin.
All of a sudden, we lifted up and then we started dropping down really fast. It felt like about 5 seconds of free fall.
The plane diverting safely to Washington's Dulles Airport. The airline says 7 passengers suffered minor injuries and the aircraft was also damaged.
Alarming incidents. Rena Roy joining us from Newark Airport tonight. And Rena, you're also learning more about the private airplane in that deadly incident?
Yeah, that's right, Whit. Kansas City-based telecommunications company Connexon confirming to ABC a short time ago that they own the plane and that the person who died was not an employee of the company. Whit?
All right, Rena, thank you. Now to San Jose, California, where explosives were allegedly found at the home of a man suspected of blowing up 2 electrical transformers. Police were at his home into the weekend, sifting through evidence. Those explosions left thousands without power in December and January. Authorities say these surveillance images and cell phone data led them to the suspect, who was arrested earlier this week. Here's ABC's Zareen Shah.
Tonight, authorities are still combing through the home of a suspect who they say is responsible for blowing up 2 PG&E transformers in December and January, leaving thousands in the dark and cold.
Not only is there explosive material here, there's chemicals used to manufacture narcotics. Deadly combination in a residential neighborhood.
San Jose police and federal agents surrounded 36-year-old Peter Karasev's home on Wednesday, arresting and charging him with multiple counts, including arson, endangering or injuring the health of a child, exploding a destructive device, and destroying an electrical line. In a statement, PG&E says in part, it takes seriously the protection of critical infrastructure. Authorities track Karasev down after sifting through surveillance video and carefully tracing cell phone pings. They also say the software engineer and married father of 3 not only admitted to using meth, but also had an inactive meth lab in his home.
I've never felt unsafe, but that kind of makes me a little nervous.
Karasev's arrest comes on the heels of other reported substation attacks nationwide in the last 3 months.
And that incident left tens of thousands of people in the cold and in the dark. As for Karasev, he is being held without bail. He will be back in court in late April. Whit?
Zareen Shah, thank you. Turning now to NBA superstar Ja Morant, now under investigation. The league launching that probe after the Memphis Grizzlies point guard appeared to display a gun on Instagram Live while at a nightclub early this morning. He'll now miss at least 2 games with the team. This follows several off-the-court incidents reported in recent months. Tonight, what the NBA All-Star is now saying. Here's ABC's Elwin Lopez.
Tonight, one of the NBA's biggest stars taking time off the court after his team benched him for at least 2 games. Memphis Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant saying in part that he is going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and overall well-being. Overnight, he live-streamed this video on his Instagram, appearing to brandish a gun at a nightclub. The star player now apologizing, saying, "I take full responsibility for my actions." This week, the Washington Post reported on an incident over the summer when a security guard at a Memphis mall said he felt threatened by the 23-year-old player. And just 4 days after that incident, at his own home, the Post reports Morant, quote, repeatedly punched a teenage boy in the head during a pickup basketball game. Then, according to the report, went into his house and, quote, re-emerged with a gun visible in the waistband of his pants and his hand on the weapon. In response to the Post story, Morant's agent stated Morant was acting in self-defense and that, quote, any and every allegation involving a firearm has been fully investigated and could not be corroborated.
And when no charges were filed regarding those incidents, and now the Grizzlies star appears to have deactivated his social media accounts, including Instagram and Twitter. As far as that video goes, the NBA says it is still investigating. Whit?
Elwin Lopez reporting for us tonight. Thank you. Next tonight, news about convicted killer Alec Murdaugh. The once prominent attorney was moved to a reception and evaluation center in Columbia, South Carolina. This a day after he was sentenced to life in prison for the murders of his wife and son. Corrections officials say he will be evaluated before being permanently assigned to a maximum security prison. Overseas now to the war in Ukraine and the fierce battle for control of a key city in the east. And a horrific scene in Zaporizhia, the body of an 8-month-old baby pulled from an apartment building destroyed by a Russian missile. Her entire family was killed. Ukrainian forces now preparing for a larger Russian offensive when the weather improves. Here's ABC's James Longman.
Tonight, new tragedy discovered in the rubble of this apartment building in Zaporizhia, leveled by a Russian missile. Emergency teams retrieving the body of an 8-month-old baby girl. She was killed alongside her entire family. 11 people are now known to have died. In the east, the situation in Bakhmut growing more desperate for Ukraine. Russian forces say they've encircled the town. Ukraine's forces may be under pressure, but they are grinding down Russian troops and resources. This undated footage posted by Ukraine's State Border Service shows drones being used to target the enemy as they run for cover before showering them in artillery. Ukraine girding itself for a larger Russian offensive in the spring when the weather improves, training new recruits, including this grandfather, who says now that his grandson is fighting, so will he. Those fresh recruits also anticipating more sophisticated tanks from the West.
And when Ukraine receives the tanks that it's waiting for from the United States and Europe, it's going to be vitally important, not just that they know how to use them, but they know how to fix them.
Vanya, a 21-year-old mechanic, fixes tanks at this makeshift forest camp. He looks forward to the new US models, though they'll make his job much more complicated. I can diagnose problems with our tanks just by listening to their engine, he tells me. We'll need to be trained on the new tanks, but we'll learn.
And those tanks are on their way, Whit. And today, the United Kingdom announced it's going to double the number of Challenger 2 tanks that it's planning on sending. That's straight after Friday's announcement of that $400 million aid package from the United States. It's going to include folding mobile bridges, as well as ammunition for rocket and artillery systems. Whit.
James Longman on the ground for us again in Ukraine tonight. We appreciate it. We turn now to the 2024 race for the White House, already heating up. Former President Trump headlines a conservative political action conference tonight, but some high-profile Republicans like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence are skipping the event. And now the first Democrat to announce a challenge to President Joe Biden. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Tonight, the race to 2024 intensifying as former President Trump makes his case for the Republican presidential nomination.
We're going to complete the mission. We're going to see this battle through to ultimate victory.
Trump taking center stage at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, a once must-attend event for GOP stars, now dominated by his supporters.
We believe in Donald Trump! We believe in Donald Trump!
It is very Trump-centered around here.
It's not Trump 2024, it's Trump forever.
Former South Carolina governor turned candidate Nikki Haley heckled by the crowd.
Trump 2024!
Other possible GOP hopefuls like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence skipping CPAC, highlighting the divide over the party's future.
We are over here tearing each other apart.
And tonight, as President Biden mulls his re-election bid, he now faces a Democratic challenger. Self-help author Marianne Williamson launching another long-shot campaign, speaking exclusively to ABC's Jonathan Karl.
The Democratic Party needs to be a conduit for the healing of this country. But first, the Democratic Party needs to look in the mirror and heal itself.
Governor DeSantis, who's seen as one of Trump's strongest rivals, has yet to announce that he's running, but he is making stops this weekend in California for his book tour, with visits expected next week to the key states of Iowa and Nevada. Whit.
Elizabeth Schulze from Washington, thank you. And you can see more of that exclusive interview with Marianne Williamson tomorrow morning on This Week with George Stephanopoulos. Another political headline to note, attorneys for former President Donald Trump are asking a federal judge to block former Vice President Mike Pence from testifying before a grand jury investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. Trump's attorneys citing executive privilege in a sealed filing on Friday. This was expected, with Trump's team previously indicating that they would challenge the subpoena. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight. This Saturday, the dramatic police chase in Southern California. The suspect seen opening fire on officers. And a deadly tanker explosion in the Washington suburbs. Homes damaged. What we've just learned about the investigation.
Now what? You say it when things go wrong. At Prudential, we think you should say it when things go right, too. Like when you score your dream job, sell your business, or discover she's smart, really smart. Now what? Here's what. You connect with Prudential's rock-solid team serving over 50 million people with investment, insurance, and retirement know-how. Who's your rock? Visit Prudential.com or speak to an advisor today.
If this were the real COVID-19, I would be in real trouble because I have asthma.
And I have depression.
I have diabetes.
And I struggle with my weight. For us, COVID is a whole different ballgame.
In fact, you could be one of almost 200 million Americans with a high risk factor that makes COVID even riskier.
Which is why you need to be ready and have a plan. Other risk factors, including heart disease or being inactive.
Even being over 50 or being a smoker can put you at serious risk.
Could that be you? Find out. Go to NoPlanGood.com and know your risk factors. Then make a plan.
Because if you get COVID on top of asthma, like I did, the last thing you want to do is wait and see. Be ready, have a plan. And ask your doctor about treatment options that may help.
Next tonight, the alarming scene in the suburbs outside Washington, D.C. A tanker truck overturning and exploding in Frederick, Maryland, killing the driver and sending a plume of smoke into the sky that could be seen for miles. Several cars and homes were damaged by the massive flames. US 15 was closed in both directions for hours. A dramatic police chase in Southern California. Authorities say a man stole a pickup truck at gunpoint from a man filling his gas tank, then sped away. At one point, the suspect was seen firing a long gun at police as they followed him, a chase lasting for more than an hour. He eventually sideswipes a police car and crashes the truck. He was captured after trying to flee on foot. When we come back, news on the new alternative to statin treatment for those at risk of heart attack. And remembering a movie tough guy, best known for roles in iconic Hollywood films.
What if you were a trendy apparel company facing an avalanche of demand? To ensure more customers can buy more Sherpa-lined jackets, you call IBM to automate your IT infrastructure with AI. Now your systems monitor themselves. What used to take hours takes minutes. And you have an e-commerce platform designed to handle sudden spikes in overall demand. As in actual overalls. Let's create IT systems that roll up their own sleeves. IBM, let's create.
John?
Bree, any idea why we are in a fridge?
We're dinner.
Well, with Best Foods, all these leftovers can be anything. Is that Pete Davidson?
I'm gonna eat you guys.
You guys are really delicious.
Best Foods brings leftovers to life.
We love our new home. There's so much space.
We have a guest room now.
But we have ants.
You're slouching again, Ted.
Expired. Expired. Expired.
Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
It's a lot of house. I hope you can keep it clean.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save a lot of money.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request?
I'll have to check.
Aunt Joni's here.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Born in 1847, formerly enslaved.
Started buying land, was in the House of Representatives. Finding out this family history, these things become anchors for your soul.
I'm not slowing down anytime soon. That's why I take Osteo Biflex every day. It's clinically shown to improve joint comfort in 7 days and continues to improve over time. Kinda like us. Osteo Biflex, because I'm made to move.
Think he's posting about all that ancient Roman coinage? No. He's making real-time money moves with Merrill. So no matter what the market's doing, he's ready. And that's how you collect coins.
Your money never stops working for you with Merrill, a Bank of America company.
I'm over 45, I realize I'm no spring chicken.
I know what's right for me. I got a plan to which I'm sticking.
My doc wrote me the script. Box came by mail, showed up on Friday.
I screened with Cologuard and did it my way.
Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive. It's for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
I did it my way.
Saturday primetime and Sunday showcase on ABC.
There's no way she'd stick around if she knew the truth. I'm a criminal.
It's just too dangerous.
Let's rock.
To the Index now, a passing to note tonight. Actor Tom Sizemore, best known for his tough guy roles in films like Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down, has died. The Detroit native played soldiers, cops, and killers throughout his decades-long career in film and television. His achievements at times overshadowed by substance abuse and problems with the law. Tom Sizemore leaves behind twin sons. He was 61 years old. News tonight about a new drug, an alternative to statins for those at risk of heart disease. Nexletol is approved to treat high cholesterol, but a new FDA study finds it can also be effective in preventing heart attacks. Statins are currently recommended for people at risk, but a sizable minority of patients suffer painful side effects from statins. Patients should speak with their physician before changing any medication. When we come back, America Strong, one young man's life-changing news and his now viral celebration.
Our ancestors had power, our ancestors had hope, and our ancestors had ambition. Born in 1847, formerly enslaved,
Started buying land, was in the House of Representatives.
we didn't know our family was part of Black Reconstruction.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously.
Finding out this family history, these things become anchors for your soul.
Think he's posting about all that ancient Roman coinage? No. He's making real-time money moves with Merrill. So no matter what the market's doing, he's ready. And that's how you collect coins.
Your money never stops working for you with Merrill, a Bank of America company.
If this were the real COVID-19, I would be in real trouble because I have asthma.
And I have depression.
I have diabetes.
And I struggle with my weight. For us, COVID is a whole different ballgame.
In fact, you could be one of almost 200 million Americans with a high risk factor that makes COVID even riskier.
Which is why you need to be ready and have a plan. Other risk factors including heart disease or being inactive.
Even being over 50 or being a smoker can put you at serious risk.
Could that be you? Find out. Go to NoPlanGood.com and know your risk factors. Then make a plan.
Because if you get COVID on top of asthma, like I did, the last thing you want to do is wait and see. Be ready, have a plan. And ask your doctor about treatment options that may help.
You founded your kayak company because you love the ocean, not spreadsheets. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
I'm Steve. I lost 138 pounds in 9 months on Golo and taking Release. Since taking Release, my sleep is way better. My inflammation has gone way down. I'm nonstop now. I feel way better than I did before. I don't sit down in life anymore.
With Fidelity Income Planning, we'll help you create a clear, personalized plan for cash flow, even when you're not working. A plan that includes all your accounts so you can enjoy whatever comes next. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
Ready to shine from the inside out? Say yes to Nature's Bounty, the #1 brand for hair, skin, and nails. With our signature blend of health and beauty nutrients to bring out more of your inner beauty. Get more with Nature's Bounty.
On the next episode of TV Dad.
Kids are so expensive, Dad.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
It's a great idea, TV Dad.
Listen to Your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average.
Everyone agrees. The talent on the new season of Idol is
ridiculous. I love it.
You're in the dream now.
The best is yet
American Idol, new Sunday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
America Strong tonight, the celebration gone viral. A milestone moment that has since gone viral on social media. 17-year-old Amir Staten reacting to life-changing news. Jumping for joy after reading an email on his phone. Congratulations, you just got into Morehouse College.
I was driving and I had dropped my mom off and I got an email right when I dropped my mom off. So she's walking up to the house and I'm like, Mom, I just got an email. And she was like, open it. What are you waiting for? So I opened the email and lo and behold, it's a congratulations letter from Morehouse.
The historically black liberal arts college in Atlanta has produced famous alumni like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Spike Lee, and Samuel L. Jackson. Amir's mother, Carlin, capturing her son's joyful reaction on her cell phone.
He just flipped out. Oh, my baby!
This single mom beaming with pride.
He's such a perfectionist. The fact that he's so humble that he didn't even think he would get it. He's such an amazing kid, spiritually, intellectually. He has perfect grades. He's on every committee you can think of.
Amir getting reaction to his video from around the world. Now hoping his story will inspire other teens in his Philadelphia community and beyond.
There's also a message to other kids in the city. You don't have to be involved in the streets to be cool. You can go to college, get a degree.
Thanks for watching tonight. Good night.
Nothing brings new life to your home like hardwood flooring. For a limited time, No Frills Flooring has pre-finished hickory hardwood on sale. Durable hand-scraped hickory with a 25-year warranty. Not for $4.99 or $3.99, but an unheard of $2.99 a square foot. Hurry, quantities are limited, so you've got to move fast. Hickory hardwood on sale only at No Frills Flooring. Factory direct savings and warehouse selection for contractors. And you too. Medford and Grants Pass.
Okay, Jen, name something hard to find. A snowman in Phoenix, Arizona. A phone booth. Tickets to a Taylor Swift concert.
You know what's easy to find? Brand new Honda cars, trucks, and SUVs at Jim Siegel. We even have Ridgelines and Accords on the lot ready to be bought. Jim Siegel, the easy to find place to get your brand new Honda in Grants Pass.
Can't go wrong.
Tonight on a special edition of News Watch 12, residents along the coast might be seeing a new view on the beach, wind turbines. Plus, the Oregon Chocolate Festival is continuing on today, where one Ukrainian woman is selling to help her family back home.
Watching out for you. This is a special edition of News Watch 12.
We do apologize about those technical difficulties, but first, thank you for joining us for the special edition of News Watch 12. I'm Brett Taylor. We're expected to have a very cold, snowy weekend where this morning we actually even saw some fresh snow falling out towards the Ashland area in those lower elevations. So take a look at this footage that we were sent by a coworker of ours where you could see very large flakes falling down across the town. Now, although the snow didn't stick in the city, it did leave the roads very wet. So you might still want to be careful if you do have to travel today, as more snow is expected heading on into later tonight. Now, the Oregon Department of Transportation is asking everyone to delay their travel plans today if they can. And if you have to travel through the Siskiyou Summit, well, make sure you have some chains, because there is right now a requirement in place. So for a better look at what exactly we can expect for the very latest forecast with this storm system that's in our area today, let's turn over now to Storm Watch 12 meteorologist Mackenzie Lake over in the Weather Center, where Mackenzie, it seems like outside right now in a little bit of a lull. When is that going to exactly pick back up tonight?
It's going to pick back up overnight tonight, and you can see that we're going to be seeing lots of precipitation.
We do apologize about that. Again, we are having some technical difficulties right now in regards to our meteorologist, Mike. We're going to try to get that fixed here very, very shortly. Meanwhile, in a severe weather alert tonight, there are several warming shelters that are in place right now, but also several steps that are being taken in consideration to try to get parts of the Rogue Valley prepped for more snow in lower elevations. Now, with this winter storm system hitting the Rogue Valley, some of the roads may be snowy or even icy heading into later tonight. And the Jackson County Sheriff's Office says during this winter storm, they want to make sure their deputies are on the road, keeping locals safe.
know, that if people have issues or need assistance, that we have the capacity to respond. But typically, you know, we didn't have a serious influx of calls for service during the last weather event, and, you know, who knows what this will bring.
Still to come on another special edition of News Watch 12 at around 8, we'll hear more from Sheriff Sickler about what he exactly suggests people to do when driving in snowy or icy conditions. Now, as I just mentioned a few moments ago, with forecasts predicting cold and wet weather for the next 7 days, communities across our region are opening up several warming shelters. In Grants Pass, the city has a warming shelter that will be open until the morning of March 10th. That shelter is located at 531 Northeast F Street and will open in just about an hour. Food and bedding will be provided at that location. Now, the city of Medford also has a shelter opening up later on tonight. That one will be opening up as well in just about an hour at the old Kelly shelter at 332 West 6th Street. And Ashland also will have a warming shelter open tonight through the morning of March 9th. That shelter will be opening up in just about 30 minutes and is located at 48 5th Street. People who go to this shelter should plan on bringing their own bedding. In Jackson County, one man has also been arrested after shooting at a car at the Wendy's on Pacific Highway in Medford. The Medford Police Department telling us that around last night at around 10:30, officers responded to shots being fired and a possible gunshot victim at 1920 North Pacific Highway. Again, that's that Wendy's located near South Medford. Now, when they arrived to the scene, they said there was no victim, but they did find multiple .45 caliber casings. Police also found that 47-year-old Garrison Orzoko was in an argument with two people over some money disputes. Police say that during the argument, he did fire multiple shots in the air and several more at the victim's car when they tried to drive away. Since then, Orzoko has been arrested, but a gun has not been found. And over in Klamath County right now, the Klamath Falls Police Department is asking for the public's help in identifying several juvenile suspects that caused thousands of dollars of damages to property and cars across the city. Police say that this past Thursday night, they received multiple calls about several items, including cars getting graffitied. They say that several minors caused damages to at least 20 different victims across the city. Police are asking for anyone who lives in or near any areas listed on your screen right now to check your surveillance cameras for footage that might help identify any additional suspects. And new at 4 tonight, parents of Portland teens killed by fentanyl are pushing for a bill that would require fentanyl education across Oregon schools. That bill was just introduced, and the first public hearing is scheduled for next week before it will then go to the Senate and House, and then before Governor Kotek needs to sign it off. Now, this video from late February shows Portland police officers chasing down a suspected fentanyl dealer. The suspect told authorities he was selling powdered fentanyl and pills laced with the drug because he says it paid more than his previous job as a roofer. This explanation, of course, didn't sit well with Jennifer Epstein, who back in December of 2020 had her son, Cal, at just 18 years old, overdose on fentanyl and then later died.
We have evidence on his phone that he reached out to a dealer on social media, on Snapchat. We know also that he did not expect to get fentanyl.
And count that among the many reasons why Epstein and her husband are working with the Oregon State Legislature on Senate Bill 2038, which calls for age-appropriate curriculum to be added to existing drug and alcohol classes in Oregon middle and high schools.
I believe this will save lives. I believe that kids need to hear this message from every angle. They need to hear it from their parents. They need to hear it from their doctors, from schools, on social media. Different kids will listen to different sources.
Now, the bill also aims to educate kids on the laws that provide immunity to people who report fentanyl use or seek help for themselves or even others. Over in Curry County, those who live within the county, especially near the Brookings area, could see these massive new residents along the Oregon coast. They're called wind turbines, and some, close to 1,000 feet tall, are in the early planning stages in two areas about 20 miles off the coast near the California border. Experts say the potential for energy production there is huge.
There is no other resource out there like offshore wind. At this point on the West Coast, it's entirely untapped.
Jason Bush is the executive director of the Pacific Coast Energy Trust. And at a wind energy conference in Portland earlier this week, the federal government recognized two call areas it's already started studying near Coos Bay and Brookings. By this time next year, the government plans to hold an auction for developers to bid on the projects. One of the developers is an Oregon-based wind energy company called Deep Blue Pacific Wind.
What makes Oregon unique is that first you have a world-class resource off the southern Oregon coast, and you combine that with Oregon's historic strong support for clean energy policies and decarbonizing our electric supply, and there's a lot to like about offshore wind and how it fits into that environment.
However, tribes are worried the towers could impact their cultural resources, and fishermen are worried how this could impact their livelihoods. But this is still pretty far into the future, and after a decision is made at the auction, there are still 7 years of site assessments and surveys left of the area before construction can begin. And today, the Oregon Chocolate Festival is well underway, and one vendor is selling her chocolates to help her family back in Ukraine. This year, more than 50 vendors took over the Ashland Hills Hotel and Suites, with one vendor with Anya's Chocolates deciding to accept donations for their family who are right now suffering from the Ukrainian war. All proceeds will go towards Ukrainian refugees, and the vendor says so far she has sent about $100 each and every month.
Made chocolate candy. My family want helping Ukrainian family. This money is boxes help Ukrainian family, Ukrainian, Poland.
It'll still come on another special edition of News Watch 12. We'll hear more from Anya about how long she has been raising money for her family since that war began.